This message is intended as a reminder that we are not licensed professionals, not psychiatrists or psychologists. If you have a serious problem, please seek professional help. The National Suicide Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255.
There's some damsels in the DM.
Yes, queen.
Tell us what's the vibe. There's some damsels in the DM. Please tell us what's the vibe. DMs, yeah we see them, yeah we read them. DMs, we don't need them, we just leave them.
Please.
Yeah.
It's going down in the DMs. Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Damsels in the DMs. I'm Lauren.
I'm Ash.
And I'm Alejandro. Happy holidays. Hello.
Happy holidays.
Oh my God.
This episode will be coming out next week, and we have some very exciting news that we're excited to share with you all.
Mm-hmm.
Our podcast is going through a rebrand. It's been something that's been in the works for a while, and while we love talking about dating, I think it was really important that we all felt fulfilled by the podcast. And as we're all in different stages of our dating career, one thing that we all knew that we could have in common and that we felt passionate about was the world of being an artist and how people become artists, how people get to the place of content creating, how they get to where they want to be in their careers. And I think it was really important for us to decide what's important for us to talk about. What do we think people need to hear weekly? And as you all know, there are so many dating podcasts out there. But one thing that we felt was missing from the podcasting world was, how do artists get to where they want to be? There's a lot of podcasts that talk about how business owners get to where they want to be, how CEOs get to where they want to be, but not a lot at how the come up looks for artists. So we are rebranding as the Damsels in the DMs, the Come Up Podcast.
That's it. It's going to be perfect.
Yeah, we really hope that this also helps you guys a lot. I mean, we still will be sharing, our personal little dating stories here and there. But we really do hope that this helps you guys as well, because everybody wants to, everyone wants to do something with their lives. Everyone wants to be a creative or try to fulfill that creative energy that they have in them. And I hope that this helps you as much as it helps us, because we're super excited about this new rebrand.
Yeah, this rebrand is going to be really engaging, I think, for all of us on like a personal, professional, creative level. But I also think it's going to help us understand what our listeners want to get a better understanding of too, because our DMs are always going to remain open. And, we're here to support each other and support our listeners. So what better way to get an understanding of who would benefit our listeners than hearing directly from you? So we're super excited to continue keeping those lines of communication open and deepening our understanding of, personal stories of perseverance, of growth. We just recorded an amazing conversation with a fantastic and admirable storyteller who, this episode is going to be coming out soon, so I don't want to give too much away, but to know that this person also worked with Lauren and to hear a different side of Lauren's background and personal and professional growth, to hear them, banter. I was just sitting, there were a few moments where I was just sitting there just like in awe, because it was amazing to experience all that everyone is share, or what you two have been able to share and create successfully, and to learn from that was really amazing. So this season's gonna be dope. Well, it's not really a new season though, is it?
No, it is a new season. It's kicking off January. We're calling it season 4.
Okay.
And I want to be totally transparent about how things are going to look around here, because I want you guys to know what you're going to be getting when you tune into an episode of Damsels. So we are no longer going to be doing host episodes like this one. We may still do them from time to time, depending on what you guys tell us you want to hear. If you want more from us, we're always open to adjusting. But the new plan is that we're going to have a guest on every episode, and you'll hear a little bit about how we're doing in the beginning of the episode. We'll give you a rose and thorn from our week, let you know what's going on in our path and how we're being able to trudge. And then we'll look at whatever the creator who we're having on, how their path is looking, some challenges that they've been on, some healthy habits that they use to develop their routine to get them to where they are, and talk to them also about DMs that they get, because we're still going to be damsels in the DMs. We're still going to look at DMs. And that's another thing that I want to talk about, is that we're still going to be looking at your DMs. We still want you to send us DMs in. And the DMs now don't have to necessarily be looking for advice from us. They can also be seeking advice from our guests, wondering what our guests did to get to where they are. They can be a little bit more broader. And that also leads me to my next thing, which is that artists, and looking at the path of artistry, art can look a lot different. Art can be art within athletes. It can be in being a chef. It can be in being a content creator. It can be in the health and wellness field. We're really looking at a lot of different fields here. So don't be afraid to suggest us somebody who you feel like might not be in exactly the realm that we were looking at before, because this rebrand is really all encompassing. And what we really hope to learn from this podcast is how people get to where they are, what's the path that they follow, and what are some of the challenges that they faced along the way.
I like that you said all encompassing, because it really is just it's a humongous net of people. Like, I'm right now interested in hearing from comedians and entrepreneurs and obviously authors. So yeah, those would be my kind of areas of interest or curiosity. Ash, what are you excited
Yeah,
to
I
hear
mean,
about?
I am starting this skincare line. I'm still growing it, and I would love to, have an entrepreneur come on, specifically maybe in the skincare industry, and talk about their success, their journey, more about their journey. I think this new season is going to be about people's journeys and see how people get from A to B, or from ground zero to, the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, 100%. The Eiffel Tower.
Also,
Of course, she brings up
Empire State
France.
Building, but
Ah,
no, I was thinking of the Empire State Building, but then Eiffel Tower was the one that was coming in my head, and I was like,
That's
yeah,
it.
I'll go with it. France won against Morocco today, so we are going to the frickin' championships to
Allez
the
les
final.
Blues.
Allez, allez.
Yeah, and that being said, you can still feel free to ask us about our relationships and what's going on there. Like I said, we'll still be talking about what's going on in our lives. Like, we're still open books, here to address anything on those topics, and we'll still be bringing on people from the dating field from time to time, but we're just going to be looking more at what's the general journey that people take. And now that I'm in graduate school, I've also been working on starting my production company, which is also going to be looking at films that people do, and creating films that look more at paths and inspire people to follow their paths and learn from others, just like we're going to be doing on this podcast. And I think it was important for me to find an alignment between the production company and between what we're accomplishing on this podcast, because I felt really fulfilled by the mission of this production company that I've been working on. And I wanted to make sure that everything that we're doing on the podcast also allows us to inspire others and hope to help in some way or some facet to help others find their path and learn about the options that they can take to get to where they want to be.
options, abundance of options. Oh my goodness, give us all of them. I'm excited. It's gonna be really, really dope. And it's interesting too, because it's almost like a full circle moment where when Asha and I first began, we kind of hypothesized what the podcast would look like if we ever came to this point in time of, expanding our topics that we cover. So it's amazing, and I'm super, super pumped. And I think, yeah, like I said, I can't wait to. There's someone that I reached out to, a comedian in particular, who I think I may have mentioned. I'm not sure, but I'm excited. We'll see. We'll see who we can get on, but this will be fun.
Yeah, and feel free to let us know what you liked about the old season, things that you want us to keep. As we mentioned, we're not going to be doing the letters anymore. We're going to be doing shorter DMs. But if you feel like, hey, I really miss the letters, if you feel like, hey, I really miss the host episodes, let us know, because like I said, it's a rebrand, but we want to hear what you like best about the podcast and what you like best about our content. So feel free to keep us in the loop.
And you may or may not be seeing more or less of us. So be sure you just stay tuned in every week, because
What?
I don't even know, right? Well, I mean, we're in the rebrand. We're updating our logo. We may or may not be keeping video, so we're keeping our audience on their toes as far as how much access they have to us. But always, every Monday, they'll be able to tune into a new episode.
Yes. Which brings me to what I want to talk to you guys about in getting you guys ready for the new season. So, Ash, I wanted to discuss with you what's a rose and thorn from this week.
A rose from this week, because it's Wednesday. I've been down with the flu since Sunday night, so there hasn't really been a rose for me. Obviously, other than seeing your guys' faces, but right now my biggest thorn is trying to get over this flu. Today I am starting to feel a lot better than I was the previous days. But I do have a wedding to go to tonight in Mexico. So I'm just trying to get through this whole week, the next week. And my rose is going to be next week. I'll be in Botswana with my family, with my mom's food, and just be able to literally do nothing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Alejandro, same to you.
Rose and a thorn. Well, I feel like it's been spoken of the month of December as being like a time to like be still and be calm and da da da. I feel like the opposite is true. So my thorn is just like kind of feeling overwhelmed by like a lot that seems to be happening at the same time. But the rose is that there are an abundance of opportunities to express oneself and to connect with others. So, you know, it's the dichotomy of life that we're dealing with. But it's a beautiful thing, the rose and the thorn. What about you?
Rose is that I am officially done my first semester of grad school.
Yay!
I guess second rose is that today is my 7-year anniversary with Brian. So 2 roses, which is good. Thorn, kind of same as you, Alejandro. I'm just like getting swamped. I feel like the world is like, oh, you feel like you don't have enough to do. Let us give you everything to do. Like my schedule has been going by the minute lately, and I'm grateful for opportunity. I don't know if you guys have this struggle, but on the topic of paths and following your paths, my mind, like I thrive on being very busy, but the second that I'm not busy or I have a second to breathe, my mind like goes to an anxious place thinking about all of the things that I could be doing or should be doing. And I really have a hard time like cutting myself off from work because like the way that my new schedule is just with school and all of the other things like my acting career, I'm pretty much like working every day, including the weekends. And then like if I do have a day where I'm not working or like half a day where I'm not working, my mind is still constantly thinking about working.
Totally. Totally. It's a nonstop wheel or like machine with so many gears that are in motion, and like the second you take one cog out, it's a disaster.
I
Yeah.
think it also doesn't help that the three of us, aren't in a traditional 9 to 5 like
Yeah.
career path, with like we're not engineers or finance people. Like with the straight career path, we know what we have to do at work. When we're done, maybe we bring some work home, maybe we don't. But with us, we have so many different projects going. We've got podcasting, we've got acting, you've got school. Alejandro, you actually have your job that's like your full-time job. And then my skincare company. There's just so many things that we're all balancing at the same time that it is hard to switch your brain off and just be like, okay, I'm done. It's 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. I'm done with my day. I'm gonna have some dinner and like watch TV.
Yeah.
Right, like
Yeah.
what is TV? Who has time for that? Like,
I scheduled TV into my schedule, by the way, because it's like,
whoa.
I've scheduled it onto my calendar to be like a learning time for me, so that I can like watch shows and stuff that I should be, that I should be watching and I should be paying attention to.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
week has been nice though, because I've been able to have all the free time in the world because I can't do anything. So I watched White Lotus season 2. I finished the whole season like yesterday.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. What a finale. Whoa.
Yeah, no spoilers for anyone, but insane.
Yeah. And I think that like talking about like taking breaks, I think that's especially important as you mentioned, because the holiday season doesn't look the same for everyone, as you talked about, Alejandro. One thing that's always brought me solace when going through like ups and downs in my career, which is a lot of what I wanted to talk about in this rebrand, is the idea of a path and knowing that you are on a path and that paths have hills, they have flat lines, they have parts where you're going downhill, that they're not all the same. Because as you guys know, I love hiking, and I think about hiking as a life metaphor in a way. And something that I've always told myself to feel better is that I am on my path, and it's like always served as a way to ease my anxiety, knowing that like this challenge is going to teach me something later on, and that this too difficult moment will help in the end. And I think that was why I really wanted to start looking at what people's paths look like and the challenges that they faced and that they learned from to get to where they are. So I guess that leads me to my next question for you two, is that what was a memorable moment of your path that felt like a success? And then what's a particular challenge that allowed you to grow?
Let's hear from you first. Tell us.
Okay, so I think for me, a moment of inspiration that I think about all the time was when I first graduated from USC, and I had trouble finding a manager and an agent. And I sent out a ton of emails, didn't really hear from anybody. And I remember that I was like working as an extra at somebody's Malibu house. And I was really excited at this point to have an extra work. Like any opportunity to be on set was absolutely thrilling to me. So I remember I had gotten my first meeting with a manager, and also was filming at this like Malibu house. And I went to the meeting with the manager. I didn't know what to expect. It was my first time that I was having a meeting, and he ended up signing me. And like I said, it was my first meeting outside of graduating. I signed with this manager, and then I drove along the Pacific Coast Highway to my extra work filming in Malibu. And to me, that was such an exciting moment at the time, because I felt like, wow, my path is just starting. Like there's so many places to go, and like things are kicking into gear. And I always remember that moment, like driving along, looking at the mountains in the distance and the ocean on the side, thinking about how like these moments where things are clicking are so important for us to remember when things aren't clicking, to know that like there were different moments along our journey that inspired us and we felt like things are starting to move. Because I don't know about you guys, but I often like criticize myself for where I am on my path, or I'm like, I could be here or I should be here. But I like to just make a memory of things like that where things really felt like they were starting to move. Um, and then I think a moment where I felt challenged or was like a uphill part of my path. So many of them. But I guess like one that's particularly memorable would just be like the pandemic, to be honest. Like, because I think that the pandemic was really scary for a lot of us. I had some like job fluctuation. I wasn't sure if I was going to be getting laid off, what I was going to be doing with my job, if it was going to be continuing. I didn't know what was happening with my acting career. I moved back to Philadelphia. I felt like it was a big period of flux. And I think for me, like one of the scariest things has always been like not being successful in my career. Like that's the thing that keeps me up at night. That's the thing I always find myself like comparing other people to. So I would say like that period of flux really scared me. But what it made me do was quit the job that I was working in and start officially taking my career seriously and apply to grad school, which ended up like being fabulous decisions for me. And that's like why I wanted to ask you guys that question, but also ask our future guests, because I really think that those periods of turmoil and challenge really allow us to make effective decisions to move our path forward.
I love that.
I agree. I mean, it's amazing the testament of finding what you're passionate about and moving confidently forward in that direction. Once you find stuff that aligns, once you're connecting with people who are like minded, and that's cool. That's
Yeah.
admirable. I'm excited for you.
And I'm excited
Tell
for you
us.
to tell us yours.
This, mm-hmm. So, a moment that I found challenging in my path was definitely when I was teaching in Detroit. And I found out around this time of year, right before the holidays, that the school was going to be shutting down by that spring. And by that point, I was kind of growing, kind of used to the idea of, like, teaching and working at the brewery slash bar at night slash weekends, and just kind of like, finding my footing as a writer in
Yeah.
Detroit, and just participating in whatever productions I could as an extra. So kind of learning etiquette however I could. And I remember kind of like I remember there was a snowfall that was taking place that was super, super intense. It was so much snow. Halfway through the driveway, I looked back and it looked like I hadn't even made a dent in the amount of snow that I shoveled. And I told myself, like, there's no way I'm going to continue doing this. This is ridiculous. And I remember that week, something in my brain shifted. I found an opportunity that I had applied to, which was allowing me to get back into the publishing industry. And it was located, or it is, or was at the time, located here in Los Angeles. So
Woo.
it was an opportunity that unfolded really magically once I put in my mind, like, no, like, if I'm gonna make something happen, I just need to find it and pursue it and see what happens without, living with question marks in my head. And I don't have kids, I don't have a house. So, like, it was just, I didn't have anything tying me down. So it seemed like the perfect time. And since then, it's been cool how things have just kind of led to this like magical alignment. I mean, without having taken that opportunity, our paths wouldn't have crossed.
Yeah.
And Ash, had I not met Lauren, we would have not have crossed paths either. So it's, like I said, just that whole I think it's interesting how challenges can be really wonderful moments of opportunity and abundance once we really dig into those uncomfortable feelings, and once we figure out what exactly we're supposed to learn or how we're supposed to carry ourselves from that emotional state that may have unfolded during that time of confusion. But here we are, so let's keep it moving.
And what's
Shit.
your moment of click? What's your moment of things clicking? Like a
No,
success?
I covered that. That was all wrapped
Oh,
up
it
into
all
into a
laughed into it.
bundle.
Wow,
So
thank you for
no,
putting that into a
I put a
bow.
ribbon on it and everything. No,
Yeah,
just
you
kidding.
really did.
I was looking for two moments, and instead I got the perfect package in one with a bow on it.
That's what I do, boo boo.
I love that.
Josh, do you have one, or are you feeling too sick? We'll let you get a bye week if not.
No, I can do a little one where I was just feeling stuck. This summer I feel like with my old manager, I've just been in this thing where I've trusted everything onto my representation and kind of just like it was like, okay, they're doing everything for me. I'm not going to question it. I'll audition whatever audition they send me, but I'm not going to ask questions. Like, I'm just going to let them do their thing until I realized I like literally woke up one day and I was like, what the fuck are they doing for me? Like, why am I not going out for roles? I remember I had a conversation with Lauren and she kind of like pushed me to kind of wake up and realize, like, this is just it's not working. And so, I mean, I had a lot of anxiety trying to confront my old representation just because I didn't want to have any bad blood in the industry. I don't like confrontations. That's something that I've been trying to work on. And I remember that one specific day, I gave myself like a deadline. Literally, on this day, you're going to call up your manager and say, I'm sorry, but it's not working. And the amount of anxiety that I had that day, I wanted to throw up from the moment I woke up till the moment he answered the phone. But even when that phone conversation was going, I was like, I'm so nauseous. I don't know how I can do this. But just do and the conversation went great, by the way. He was so amazing. He received it so well. But just if I hadn't done that, I would have still been sitting here not getting any auditions, not doing anything for my career. Instead, I broke it off. I went to Paris and then I mass emailed a bajillion people and got signed with my top agency or my top management company that I've been wanting to be signed with for so long. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was blindly trusting, my other reps. So I am very proud of myself for doing that. And I'm very happy that I have friends like you guys that push me to do things that are outside of my comfort zone. Because Lauren, if I hadn't had that conversation with you, I don't know how long it would have taken me to actually get the balls to talk to my old rep.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's beautiful. And see, guys, I put my two beautiful co-hosts on the spot today to show you the type of content that you're going to be getting in this next season. Inspirational stories, motivational moments, and journeys that we can all look at and we can all grow from.
That's it. We all share some sort of strand of perseverance, and we benefit from learning how we can succeed and make positive strides in our journey.
Yeah, persistence is the key to life.
That's it. Persistence.
All right,
And
everybody.
we persist that you send us your DMs. Don't forget.
I'm just gonna let him like give all the little one-liners.
Please let him go. Let him go.
Talking. Yeah.
No, my goodness. Just send us. I don't even know what I'm gonna say. I gotta go anyways.
Come on, you were on such a roll.
Yeah, I know. I was such on roll. Oh, damn. Now I'm like drawing a blank. This is like, you know what happens? Are you good at responding to like what are your top 5 XYZs like songs or this and that? Whenever someone asks me, I blank. Like I couldn't even tell you like a
I'm good at
single title
bullshitting.
of anything. You said what?
I'm good at bullshitting.
Oh God, no! When I'm called on the spot like that, for some reason, like I know no song.
I told them that I wasn't going to talk about relationships, and I'm about to talk about my relationship. Brian has me teaching him about storytelling right now, and how like you effectively can tell stories because he feels like that's going to be useful for him in sales. So we've been having storytelling hour where I criticize how he tells a story, and how like he can better come up with content on the spot.
I want your relationship.
Hell yeah!
You want to have a storytelling hour?
You do your storytelling hour, you do happy hour where you like you guys are just so on top of your stuff and you make you're like accountable for each other. I love that so much. I'm gonna force. Can you just send Brian here?
She doesn't even want me. She just wants Brian.
I just want Brian.
I'm the one analyzing storytelling hour.
Fine, I'll take both of you.
Fine.
How do you feel about polygamy?
I think you mean polyamory.
Oh, right. I don't see this. I don't know anything.
No, you do. Your brain is healing along with your body. You're just replenishing all of the cells. That's all.
And she got a cute hat. I want that hat.
Yeah, that hat is really cute.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you all for joining us on this journey, which is our next season. We're all really excited about it. Again, we're so open to hearing your feedback. Please, as always, subscribe, rate, and review. And also, please just tell us, like, what do you think of this idea? Like, are you excited about it? What would you like to see stay the same? What would you like to see switch it up? Because we're really open to feedback at this stage of the game.
I was about to be like, even if you don't tell us, we're still going to come at you every Monday. So tune in.
Yeah.
We're going to be here regardless. This is where we live.
With these microphones.
Do not forget to send us your DMs. We are waiting. I mean, even if you don't want to send a letter, you don't have to send a whole narrative thing and code names and all that. Just 1-2 punch is all we need, all we want to share with our audience. And shit, it can be a question, a joke. We love jokes. It could be a ponderance or hypothesis of any sort, really, or a question about us. We're willing to share. We're very open on some topics, but find out. You don't know until you send us that DM.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Damsels in the DMs.
Until next time.
It's going down in the DMs.
Bye.
DMs, we don't need them. We just leave them.
Please.
Yeah.
It's going down in the DMs. Bye.